16 is the adoption of the statistics course of study. And this is information item, so we would ask for that information. Elena, Ms. Kostrick, I see your name at the bottom, and I know it's your course, and I know you're passionate about this course because we spoke the other day.
Good evening. Basically, this course came about from the teachers at the high schools, and what they are looking for is a general statistics course that's A to G requirement that is not an advanced AP course, or it's not calculus. It's for students who, once they finish Algebra 2, either have a desire to go on into calculus or a desire to go into an AP course. But statistic actually aligns very closely with Common Core. It prepares students for a lot of different career fields as well as a lot of college majors. So they basically, this is definitely teacher generated, and it really meets a lot of student needs.
And I'm excited because I'm the one who for the last year and a half has been hammering on what happened to our graduation requirements and our math for students, and this is an opportunity to open up something new for students in the math arena.
Yeah, and the hope is that once they finish Algebra 2, they'll continue with another year in senior year with statistics.
Okay. Any questions about the statistics course? Because it's an information item today, which means that we come back on June 3rd for action on approving that course, so it could be offered in the fall, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions about that? Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Hey, look, Mrs. Denler.
Pretty impressive.
And they said it couldn't be done. It's only 9 p.m. and we don't need a meeting extension. We're not adjourning, though. I will let you know that while many of you will have the opportunity to go home, the board will go back into closed session for another item that we didn't quite get to. So we're not quite done, though. There will be no meeting extension because our item in closed session will not take 2 hours. So future agenda items, these are things that we're trying to keep on the front burner. So again, as I was just mentioning, Ms. Postrick, one of the things that we are still focused on are the graduation requirements and assessing why those were reduced to 200 credits and we lost some math. And so the future look, and Mrs. Locke was adopting this project, and I think probably Mr. Moronis has been on that one as well as our Director of Secondary Ed. But that's going to be in our near future. We hope it will not be for the fall, obviously, of 2013, but it will be hopefully something that we can get considered and make a reasoned decision as a district on whether or not we want to raise the rigor for our students, which I'm hoping we do, but I'm just one board member. Board goals, we'll have to have a session because we do want to establish goals for our board based on our newly adopted strategic plan. We'll want to draw from that as a board and set some priorities for us this year as we move forward. And then coming up on the June 3rd is a special presentation which we've kind of expanded into tying into Mrs. Durkee's work and the rest of the high schools, is looking at this whole concept around linked learning. And we've had, I was mentioning 5 different vocabulary terms for these different things going on, and I said it's probably time as a district and as a board that we get clear on what it is we're trying to accomplish. And we've called it career technical education, we've called it California Partnership Academies, we've called it linked learning, we've called it academies. And so now this is going to be an attempt to clarify the district's vision and the board's support for this concept, and we need to get it better defined, and so that's going to come up on June 3rd. And so that brings us to, unless there's other future agenda items that you want to put in here as a placeholder.
I would like to repeat my request around school district finance so that the board can Mr. Richards can provide us with some tools for both the board and the public to understand the importance of the different kinds of reports, how they relate to one another, how to understand the differences between them, and how the figures progress during the course of the year.
Okay, and I think that will be a timely discussion because it comes up around negotiations and as we have an interim superintendent coming on board, we'll just have to determine. I think we have several topics for a study session around budget. I believe there's a couple of arenas in budget that we might want to look into. So we talked about that a little bit earlier and maybe trying to then find a date, whether we want to do this on a Saturday or do it in an evening. Do you have a preference, Mrs. Mayo? No, okay. Do you see it as an hours long, or did you have a thought in mind on that?
Well, I would think that based on the number of documents, it might take more than an hour, perhaps 2 hours.
Okay, so we can look at it either an evening or a Saturday if there's another. I know that's not a thrill for people either, but it's possible that in that financial arena, we have a couple of issues to look at that we could maybe incorporate in there. So we'll have to pick a date, and I can maybe email out to people and ask you to let me know what dates you're available, because we have a couple of other things, including the city of Walnut Creek's been very eager to get their joint meeting with us, and I know we've been a little distracted with a lot of meetings. As you'll recall, we approved joint meetings with all of our cities, and we did hold the Pleasant Hill one. Walnut Creek's been really following through with me, the mayor of Walnut Creek, and I'd like to get that scheduled as soon as we can. I hope this month would be nice because they're very eager to get one going. And then we have 4 other cities, but we sort of got we sort of had a lot of meetings going, so it was hard to find time in the last month with those cities. So I want to get back to that as well because they're still very interested in meeting with us, especially now. So I'll send out an email and ask for some dates maybe for people as a good start, and then we can look at topics that might want to be in that date. Okay, board reports. Mrs. Denler?